the practice of neutering, and why it might be time for a change in the way we think about it. Get ready for some tail-wagging, thought-provoking conversation straight from the mouths of two very opinionated French bulldogs. Now, let's let Tokyo and Nipsey do what they do best.
You know, it's almost a given in the U.S., isn't it? You get a dog, you get it neutered.
Right. It feels like the standard thing.
Exactly what responsible pet owners do. But have you ever stopped to ask why? Like, why is that belief so strong here? What's the underlying fear, maybe, that drives this? It's
definitely a question with a lot packed into it. And our mission today is really to unpack all of that. The origins, the evolution of this, really ingrained idea about dog neutering, specifically in the U.S.
Okay.
We'll be looking at historical shifts, animal welfare movements, which are huge here, veterinary science developments, and just societal norms.
Right, how it all came together.
Yeah, trying to understand why it feels so completely necessary to so many people.
And to do that, we've been digging through quite a bit of material articles, some historical accounts, looking at what welfare groups and vets have been saying and doing.
Yeah, good stack of info.
Okay, so let's rewind. Because how we see it today definitely wasn't always the case.
Not even close. It's pretty eye-opening, actually, when you compare now to, say, a century ago. Back then, the idea of routinely neutering a pet, often seen as cruel.
Cruel? Really?
Yeah. We found this account from 1893, neutering a male cat. The method. Basically, roll it in a blanket, no anesthetic. Just do it.
Wow.
You could ask for chloroform or cocaine, apparently, but that cost extra.
Oh, my God.
So yeah, the early view wasn't about compassionate care. It highlights just how drastically things have shifted,
That's brutal. It makes you appreciate modern vet care, but also just how values change. So when did neutering actually start becoming, like, a thing? It wasn't originally for pets, was it?
Not at all, no. Historically, neutering was mostly for livestock management.
Okay.
Cattle, horses, sheep. Primarily to manage behavior, make them easier to handle, and, prevent unplanned breeding and farming.
Makes sense.
We even see documentation for capturing horses making geldings way back in the 7th century BC. So the idea isn't new, but applying it routinely to pets, that's much more recent. Spaying and neutering for cats and dogs didn't really become widely available or even accessible until maybe the 1930s.
The 1930s, that late?
Relatively speaking, yeah. It's quite recent in the grand scheme of things.
So what happened around the 30s? Why did it start picking up for pets then?
A big factor was more people living in cities and suburbs, urbanization.
Okay.
As pet ownership grew in these denser areas, the problem of unwanted animals just became much more visible, much harder to ignore.